Hello and welcome everyone. This is Candy, the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, April the 27th, 2025. This is my Flosstube episode 141. I would like to say thank you for any new subscribers, or even if you're checking me out for a time or two. Thank you so very much for allowing me to enable you with a project or two. And to my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much for coming back each and every time that I do upload a video. It's been a couple of weeks. If you remember, I had to go to Ohio I'm back in North Carolina now. I went to Ohio to honor my mother with the memorial service there in Columbus, Ohio. And so it was a nice service. It was a whirlwind, and it was a whirlwind, let me just say it that way. I had to do a lot of packing up, and I barely got any stitching in those days that I was gone to Ohio. It was a whirlwind, to say the very least. But I'm back in North Carolina now, just trudging along. This week on Tuesday would have been my mom's 77th birthday, so I am planning on celebrating her life on Tuesday, even though it'll be just me. But it'll be something that I can do every year. I am one of those people that do not take their birthday off from work, but I'm going to take my mom's birthday off. Especially with this being the first year, I decided that I needed to take the day off and just reflect and remember her, and do some special things for myself. So that's what I'll be doing on Tuesday. I know I jumped right into plans, didn't I? Anyway, so the memorial service was beautiful. There were a lot of my friends that came out to support me, and I truly, truly appreciate that. I have read through your comments, and I still, again, appreciate you all so very much for your condolences and your safe travels. I don't know why the mountains bother me so much, but going up and down the mountains really bothers me. So my cousin did the bulk of the driving going, and I did do some driving coming back, but I'm going to have to get myself together so that I can drive the mountains. I don't know why. I used to drive the mountains, going to the beach every year, but for some reason now all of a sudden it's just like terrifying to me or whatever. But you know, it'll be okay. I'm doing okay. I'm still working and just trudging along. It's been an exciting month with Springo, and so we're going to just get right into the stitching. I have lots to share with you. Well, I feel like it's a lot. It may not be as much as what I'm thinking it is, but I have been stitching and trying to keep up with Springo and all of my other monthly obligations, and so here we go. I did not have a new start. Actually, I did have a new start. I started it as a full coverage piece. Let me find it. I'm not for sure if I showed it, and it might be because I didn't write it down in my calendar. Now that I say that, I'm pretty sure that I did. I did start it. Yep, I did. I did have a new start. Now I have to backtrack and go back and see. And I apologize if you end up hearing, I live in an apartment complex, and there are 2 apartments, so I'm underneath someone. and she has decided to start pounding or doing whatever it is that she's doing up there. So I did have a new start. Let me share it with you. It is the Zodiac Cancer. And if you recall, I am doing each one of these for each one of my children. And here is where here's where I got to on that new start. So I need to write this in my book. Yeah, I think it goes like that. Yeah. So here's where I did get to. I knew I had a new start, and I didn't write it down. I was actually in Columbus that Saturday that I was in Columbus. I was waiting after I had done some things. I was waiting around, so I jumped on my chat with my friends and was able to put in these stitches. It's 138 stitches, so I did get a good start on it. Not terribly great, but it's better than nothing. So and I need to get back to these. I have not been doing with Springo and being behind 5 days. I was actually behind more than that. Let me write this in my calendar right now. So, new start. Zodiac Cancer, Zodiac. $138. Okay, so now I can record that in my Notions app and know where I'm at with it. So that was my new start. I'm using all of the kit stuff, the perforated paper and the threads, all of that are with that. So that was my new start for this past time. Z-O-D. Okay. I knew, you know how you think, well, no, but then like my brain started thinking like back over the course of the 3 weeks that I've been gone. I do apologize. I didn't plan on being gone for 3 weeks. I knew I would be gone for at least 2. Maybe it's not been, yeah, this is the 3rd week. Well, 1, 2, this is the 3rd week. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm here now, so that's all that matters. But my stitchy bug kind of was on the fritz while I was gone, and it took me a little while to get back in the groove when I got back home. It is what it is. I'm trying to go with the flow right now because my life is just so spinning around. So I'm just trying to go with the flow and do what I feel when I feel like doing it. So that's that. So for the whips, I'm going to talk about my Springo. And the way that I'm going to share it is I'm going to share the project and the numbers that it was called so that you can know like where I am. I did end up with 2 Springo'S. So I got a Springo for the P and I got a Springo across all of the letters. This is the hard way to get it, is to get it all the way across like that. A couple of places I was only, you know, like if they'd have called one more number, it ended up being 33, and I was hoping it would be one of the other numbers so that I would have 3 Springo'S, but I ended up with 2, which was pretty good. I really do like the way that this, I don't know that they would be able to do it again, but or on a different, you know, monthly. But Robin and Carolyn came up. This was a great bingo because not everything got called. And then things that you wanted to get called didn't get called, but it really put a lot of focus in on projects. So I was really, really pleased. I'm really pleased with the 7 projects that I chose and the progress that I did get on them. A couple of them I still need to put some stitches in, hopefully this week. And I may not do like the 100 stitches, but like a couple of them, because I was so far behind, I put in 1 hour's worth of work, which still ended up almost being 100 stitches. So, you know, 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. But I really like this game, ladies, and so I appreciate you trying something new and different. So the first project, my S, was Sunflower Fairy by Mirabilia, or Nora Corbett, sorry. And this is a cover photo of what she looks like. I have been struggling with this project all month long. So here is where it was at the beginning of the month, or at the last picture. And here is where it is now. So let me explain to you, because you're looking at it and thinking, well, what happened to her head and her neck? I took it all of the skin I ended up taking out. And it looks so much better to me on looking back at it. But her arms are super skinny in the chart and in when you stitch them. So I ended up, and they have a lot of quarter stitches. So there were these big, you know, stitches, and then all these little tiny stitches. So in talking with my friends, I decided to take out all of the skin and do it over 1, which I've stitched 28 count over 1. It's not a big deal. I'm using silk, so I'm using one strand of floss. But then I had to go in and try to make sure that like it matched up still. So you can see there's places here where it's still open space, but there was also quarter stitches for the wings. So now I need to go back in and do the quarter stitches of the wings. I put in both the arms over 1. I took out all of the legs and did those over 1 also. Now there is back stitching that will have to go in with it. This was called for the number 9, 31, and 28. And I am caught up on it. This has become a pain in my side. And it's because of the back stitching, not the back stitching, because I haven't even gotten there yet. But the quarter stitches, yeah. It'll be okay. This is also, Sunflower Fairy is also on my year of whips, and I will be getting this project finished this year. I am bound and determined not to let anything stop me. What I still have left to do is all of the back stitching. So there's back stitching in her wings. These tentacles are not tentacles, antennae are back stitched. And so I still need to do that. I need to back stitch her legs and her arms. There's some back stitching in the dress and all of the beading. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this project and putting it in. You're going to be seeing it wherever I can find a place to put it in, because I need to get that project off of my plate. It is now turned into a dread project, and I don't want it to be that because I've been stitching on it for so long. But between the quarter stitches and the backs, now I need to back stitch it. I'm just like, oh my goodness, because it's just the whole thing for me. But you know, I'm gonna get there, and it's gonna get finished, and I'll be happier and better for it. So sorry, I lost my pen. Okay, so that was Sunflower Fairy. The next, so P, I'm going to wait and show you because I had a finish on P. So, and P for me was Peabody. So I'll show that in my finishes. The next letter is R, and my R stands for Rosewood Manor. And the letters called for Rosewood Manor were 33, 23, and 13. And here's what the chart looks like. And if you recall, I was struggling with this project also. Here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I literally have regrouped with this project. Yesterday I stitched on it for 2 hours and was able to get in this rose here, this greenery here, and the start of this rose over here. And I am literally stitching it by the color. Wherever the color is called, I am running my thread under just so that I can keep it uniformed. Because the color changes are a lot. There are a lot of color changes on this for every little rose. So now when I pick this up, this is also on my Year of Whips. Year of Whips is a group that is run by Melanie Watkins, the Soulful Stitcher, and she sets the criteria for how many projects you have and how many you have to finish. So this year you had to choose at least 10 projects, and you have to finish at least half of those. So I am looking forward to getting those 5 projects completed. So it'll be fun. I am stitching this on a 28 count Queen's Anne lace, and I'm using all of the called for DMC colors. So you see I still have some colors to put in here. Like this rose still has lots to go in it, but I decided to break away and start working in other sections. So when I get this rose finished next, then I'll come over. You might end up seeing this project again in May also. It just depends how I'm feeling about it in May. Because right now, actually after yesterday, I was feeling a lot better. I think one of the problems is that I took this with me to the retreat, to the Hoosier State Stitchers retreat. And it's not a retreat piece by no means. And I should have known better, but you live and you learn. So the next piece that was called, or my next Springo piece is I, and my I was for imaginary, and my imaginary is my warrior dragon. And that is what this looks like. It is by Firewing Designs. And I'm in a push to get this finished. I don't think I'm going to get it finished by June, but whether I get it finished or not in June, I'm starting my new dragon. So here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I know I put in this part here. Whatever I put in, it was 214 stitches. Oh, and I also put in his bottom back leg. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Pearl Gray Ada. And I am using Anti-D Classic Colorwork floss for it. It is very variegated from blue to purple. And I'm loving it. This was a gift to me from Kevin of Akio Whips. We both were working on it. He has since finished his. And we are planning on starting a new one in June. And that's why I need to get my hustle on and get this finished. But Kevin, I'm here to tell you, even if I don't get it finished, we're starting that new dragon. We're going to start the new dragon. And this was called for the letters, or for the number 23 and 12. It only got called twice. The N in Springo also I double dipped and made it my Whip-Go project for the month. And it is the letter N, and the N stands for Nora, who is Shaded Stitchery on Instagram. She is a spectacular designer. And I was happy to get in. I put in a total of 521 stitches for my Whip-Go on this project. Here's what it looks like. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it. And here, sorry about that. Here is where it is now. So I finished this butterfly. I'm pretty sure that I've shown this since I finished that butterfly. And now I have finished this butterfly. I have one more butterfly to go. It's approximately 749 stitches left. This is also on my Year of Whips. I chose, so if you haven't noticed a theme yet, I chose all of my Springo projects with the exception of Warrior. Well, Warrior I want to finish also, but it's not in my Year of Whips. All of the other projects are in my Year of Whips that I'm going to be finishing. So Whip-Go is the brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And for my Whip-Go, I put in 500 stitches a month on the projects. It's either 500 stitches or a finish, whichever comes first. So there is where that is now. And I love it. This fabric is a 32 count Aurora Borealis by Live and Dye LA. And I am using overdyed floss by Color and Cotton. So you can't tell here, but there's actually shading in the black for the floss. And I love this project. It'll be, I'll be glad when it's completed also. Just so I already have an idea of how I want it finished. And I think even though it's not supposed to be a bell pull, I think I can make it into a bell pull. I don't know what, or some kind of, I think it would be too big as a flat fold, but and a bell pull, you know, it kind of has that bottom where it comes down. So I don't know if I could figure out something to put in the bottom of it to make it do that, but I love that project. Okay, the next letter for Springo is the letter G, and my letter G stands for Gemini. And that is my, Zodiac Gemini for my son's birthday. Let me get it out. That is what that will look like. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And I didn't share with you. Okay, so here's where it is now. And the numbers that it was called for were 8, 30, 11, and 18. The black butterfly sampler, which was the N, was 26, 21, 19, and 34. So this is where I'm at now. I still need to put in one more. But now that I'm back to a regular routine, it should flow a little better. I was letting, well, and I did stitch the, I did stitch on them for when it got called for Springo'S. So now this is where I'm ending up, and I need to continue working on this so that I can get it to my son for his birthday. He may not get it by his birthday, but it'll be shortly thereafter because I still need to FFO it. I still need to bead it, like all of that. So this little case was made for me on our Alaska trip, and it has just been a godsend. Sean, I wanted to let you know that. So thank you so very much. I was able to thread lots of needles and put them in. I like have 5 needles in here, a pair of scissors. The only thing is this just a little tiny bit. So, I mean, literally this could just drop right in your purse and be done, be a good, so those little kits, little things like that. Keep little things like that so you can put your little projects in to, it has been wonderful to be able to just stick the needles in and thread them up and stitch on it. When I had taken it with me on the trip, but I didn't get to stitch in the car at all. Matter of fact, coming back, once I stopped driving, I slept the whole way. So it was an interesting trip. Anyway, moving on. So that was my Gemini. The next project that I worked on was for the letter O, and my O was, oh, phew, I was like, what in the world? My letter O was We Won Quilting Bird, which is also on my Year of Whips. And here's a picture. Oh, this is by Heart and Hand. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And I'm very pleased about the progress that I have gotten on this piece. So here it is. So I filled in all of the sewing machine here. I still need to put on the spool of thread and the thread that comes out of the needle here. I finished this quilt block is completed, and I'm working on the other quilt block. This will be finished soon. I just need to figure out and I just figured out now I could use this for the theme for May for Magazine Monthly because it has an antique sewing machine in it. The theme for Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge is antique, and the word, the acrostic is mahogany. And so I was like, I don't have nothing that's antique. I do now. I got an antique sewing machine. So I'll be putting that in. I use this. This was called for the numbers 2, 32, 15, and the number 1. So that was awesome. I love it when ideas just like ding. So these next few whips that I'm going to share with you are my Whip-gory categories, and that is the brainchild of Sammy J Stitches here on Instagram, or on Flosstube, Instagram, and Facebook. I follow Sammy, and it's just a way for me to put in more stitches, touch more projects through a category. So the first category, well, it's not actually the first category for the month. The first category for the month, which I've already shown you, was paper, and I used Sunflower Fairy for paper. So I double dipped between Springo and Whip-gory's. The next category was Fancy Lady, and my Fancy Lady for this time was Letter K Fairy by Nora Corbett. And here's a picture of where she was when I last shared her with you. And here is where I am now. So I literally brought down more of the, what is this called? I brought down more of it. And I'm almost, so this is, this side right here. So I'm almost completed with it right here, and then I will be working on this other side, which is longer. It goes across. Sooner or later I'll start putting her in, but there I go for that. And I put in 222 stitches. My goal for Whip-gory's is 200 stitches on each project. So I put in 222 stitches. All the empty spots that you see are for beads all the way around and in the letter K. So that one, it is being stitched on a 28 count gray. And I'm using the call for threads on it. Okay, the next project was for my Whip-gory was older than 2 years, and I'm gonna wait to show you that one. I already showed you more than 30 colors. That was 324, and I showed that last time. So this next project is for Flora Fauna, and it is Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I managed to get this, I hope that's right. I put in the greens, the leaves here and here and here, and then I think I also did this part because I put in 216 stitches, so I would have to have had to done more than just those leaves. I'm stitching this on a 28 count over 1 with the called for DMs with a DMC conversion that I along with another stitcher, the wandering stitcher, came up with. So that's where I am on that. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get this project. It's one of those projects where it's like I very rarely, it rarely calls to me, and I very rarely pick it up to do any kind of work on it. So I don't know that I'm going to continue working on that project, but that's a decision for another day. And my older than 2 years, I said I was going to show you at the ends. So the next project that I worked on was supposed to be my daily stitch, and I was going along very well with the daily stitch. I'll put the picture in right here. I was going along very well with it, and then once I made it back from Ohio, I haven't stitched on it since. So it will be my daily stitch again. I'm supposed to be stitching on it every day to get it finished before the first day of summer. So I'm going to be working on that during the month of May. Oh, there's that needle I was looking for. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. This is being stitched on an 18 count boot camp. It is Carolyn Manning Designs, color of the season, spring. And it is so very springy. I filled in some more, I filled in some more the last time that I worked on this. So I'll be pulling this out again starting tomorrow, and putting some stitches in on it. Since I didn't meet my goal this month of touching it every day, I'll be trying it again next month, putting stitches in on it every day. But again, my stitchy bug and this should have been one of the things that I went to when I wasn't feeling up to stitching very much. I put in 348 stitches on it. You will be seeing this and a few Carolyn Mannings in the month of May, and I'll explain that in my plans. The next project that I worked on was Purple Rain, and Purple Rain for me this month was the Whip-gory call number 4. Ooh, almost knocked my thing over. Here is a picture of what Purple Rain will eventually look like someday, some way. Here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I worked on this section over here. I did some more fill-in down, and I'm doing some more, I put in some more here. I have another 50 stitch. I have like 33 stitches to go. I don't know why I didn't do the 33 stitches yesterday, but I'm kind of over Purple Rain right now, believe it or not. My life choices, my Candy's life choices way back when she started this project differ from Candy's life choices right now. Right now, if I was to restart this project, I would literally try to figure out the whole typewriter method of stitching it. I would park threads. I would do something to where I wouldn't have to go back and do all of this fill in, because there's some that are like one number, one symbol, one symbol over here, but one symbol over there, and one symbol down here, and one symbol over there. Not that I want to do the whole cross-country method, but I need to figure out a way to get back on track and get my love back for this project. If you have any suggestions, just let me know. I don't know what else to do. I, have been picking colors and going down because of the amount of stitches in that particular color, but then it leaves me with all of these ninja stitches. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I was trying to stitch them yesterday and it was killing me. Like, because there's ninja stitches, there might be, so in this one little section, there might be 2 different things of ninja stitches. It's just, I know I should have done it differently, now that I'm saying it out loud, but you live and you learn. If I ever do a full coverage again, I'll know. Like this one little stitch way up here is a number 8. Well, I don't have a number 8. I'm waiting for my son to send me all of my purple rain threads. I left them in Columbus by accident, so I'm waiting for them to get here. Which means I can only stitch what I have. I can only stitch on it with the threads that I have on it. So I need to call him and be like, have you put my threads in the mail yet? So maybe if I moved on to a different shade of purple, because they're all purples. I mean, there is this bright hue of color way down here. I mean, all of this right here, but I am nowhere near over there yet, I don't think. Like, and even if I was, I don't have the threads, so. But I'll fall in love with it again. I have a goal to stitch 5,000 stitches on him, and so I gotta keep going because I want to make my goal. I gotta make my goal. Okay, so my last project for this month is my Put a Bird on Its Sow, which is being hosted by EJ of the Sunshine Stitchers. It is not too late to join this. There are people that are just now starting it. There are people that are finishing it up. It is a great sow and a great chart. Here's a picture of where I was when I last shared it with you. And here is where I am now. So I believe that I finished this entire motif. And I came over and put in this motif here. You see I got one of the birds in. I added 1,109 stitches to this month. My goal is to add 1,000 stitches every month, although I'm going to increase my goal to 1,100 stitches a month, I think, so that I can finish before December the 18th. So that is where I am now. I am stitching this on a 46 count oyster shell by Fox and Rabbit, and I am using cottage garden thread. and I am loving it. This motif was kind of a beast for me, but I managed to get it in, and now I'm going to come down and figure out where Big Blue needs to be started at and start working on Big Blue. I still need to finish this motif over here, but you know, all things, they'll get done. But I think I want to start putting in some stitches on Big Blue, just so that I can make sure that I'm in the right spot. The one good thing, the great thing about this chart though also is there is enough room around that if you do get off just by a little bit, like if it's over one too many or whatever, you still have nice spacing between it. Like everything isn't butted up against something else to where you would end up being messed up. So, and I really like that. So please join us. Please join us. It is not too late. Again, it goes all the way to December. And you can check out the Sunshine Stitchers Facebook group for all different colorways, different fabrics, different floss. It is people's creativity is really inspiring to me to do, to look outside, think outside the box. You know, my go-to is always purple, but I need to start thinking about going outside the box and using other colors, because there are so many beautiful, vibrant colors that I need to like start dibbling and dabbling in, which I have a lot of colors that I dibble and dabble in. But I'm always a go-to purple person. So, so that was my put a bird on it and for this time. Okay, so now let me pull out. So my letter P. These are my finishes. I'm so excited. I was so excited. So I was stitching along, and Peabody got called 5 times. I actually got my first Springo on Peabody, and that is this chart right here by Heart in Hand on my year of whips. And I just was like, okay. So when I got down to it, I was like, I'm going to finish this project. And that is exactly what I did. I need to put the... Now, when I say I finished it, I finished all the stitching. And I went to the store yesterday. Did I remember buttons? No. So not only did I was supposed to pick up an iron. I didn't pick up the iron. I didn't pick up my buttons. But here he is all finished. I did take some liberties and change up a couple of the colors. So like the thing coming out of his hat, instead of making it orange, I made it the shade of purple that goes in his hat. But there he is in all his glory. I finished him on, what date was that? Because I was super excited. Would you believe I didn't write it down in my book? But he's finished. So now, I think I'm going to see about making him a little stand-up. Or I could make him a pillow. I just need to make sure that I put those, put the buttons on. So I'll be getting him finished. and doing something wonderful with him. I need to get those buttons though, because you know, him holding the staff is all well and great, but the buttons are what you know, show him off even more. And then I was stitching, and one of the categories for Whip-gories was older than 2 years. And so I pulled out another year of Whip. And it is Autumn Peg by Loohoo Stitches. And I finished her. And I am so excited. You know, I have been moaning and moaning over this project too for a while. So it was good to be able to get it out, get it finished. I checked with all my friends because you know, I was willy-nilly stitching all those leaves. But I checked with all of my friends and they said she looked great. There she is. I put in all of the back stitching. I put in some more stitches around here. I put in the back stitching around here. But she is completed. And I finished her. I know I wrote down the date I finished her because I was super excited. So now I believe I have 3 of my 5-year whips completed. I finished Autumn Peg on the 25th. And so there she goes. I did stitch this on a 32 count vintage country mocha. Yep. So there she is. And I'm really excited. Again, I don't know how I'm going to finish her. I'm going to see maybe about making her into a flat fold, or having somebody else make her into a flat fold. And the reason why I say that is because I don't want to purchase a whole lot of items while I'm here. I have not made any formal decisions yet on what I'm going to be doing with my life in the near future. And so I don't want to start purchasing stuff and then have to transport it all the way back if I decide to go back to Columbus. So there is that. So now you may ask, so those were my finishes. So now you're probably wondering, what are my plans going to be? I have 3 more days of April. I am going to get some stitching in today, even though I haven't stitched at all today yet. But I'm going to get some stitching in tonight. I'm not sure just yet. I probably need to stitch on Purple Rain so that I can get those 30-something stitches in. What is it? 83? No. Maybe it's 83 stitches. I don't know. Anyway, I need to get Purple Rain finished for the month. And then I'm going to take a couple of weeks break from it. And maybe it'll re-energize me to pick it up again. I have on the 29th, which would have been my mom's 77th birthday, I'm going to do some comfort stitching. I plan on stitching all day. I'm going to take that day off of work and stitch all day. That is also my 29th of the day, 29th of the month stitching with my Stitcher's Wish. So I'll be doing both comfort stitching and 29th of the days, 29th for leap year stitching. Sorry, all of a sudden my mouth is like blah blah. So now that moves me into May plans. And as many of you know, every May I host Mental Health Matters. And this year, Athena designed this shirt to commemorate. We've had 2 years now where we've had shirts, maybe 3. I'm not sure. Maybe more. Sorry. Athena designed this shirt. Thank you so very much. You know how much I appreciate you doing that. We all, at some point, everyone, you're not immune to having a mental health issue. Just be aware that no one is immune to it. And I started this whole call to action, so to speak, because people don't talk about mental illness in the community, in the world. You know, a lot of times they're push pills onto them. People are called crazy or lazy, or there's so much stigma around mental illness. And I have suffered from mental illness, with mental illness, all of my adult life, I know for sure, and probably most of my teen years also. And I just thought it was time that we speak out and speak up and help one another with mental illness issues that someone may be having. It, you know, it's not about being lazy. It's not about pulling up your bootstraps and making it work. Although there are times where, you know, you do have to do that. I've had to do it myself recently. Like, you need to pull yourself together, get yourself together, and do what you need to do, because no one else is going to do it for you. So I've had to have those conversations myself. So I just wanted to bring awareness to mental health. And May is Mental Health Month. And so that's why I started it. I started it. So, in that, I will be working on a few projects that I did bring back from Ohio with me, that I have started in years past, that are for mental health. But I also have picked 3 projects. So I'm going to go through my planner and put down which days of the week I'm going to work on each project, because now I have a lot of projects that I need to really put some focus work on. So May will be all about mental health and comfort stitching and whatever brings you joy. You do not have to go out and buy, a new chart. You don't have to, if stitching Christmas, like Miss Shelia, I know stitching Christmas brings her joy. She starts working on her Christmas stitching in May because it brings her joy. I work on a whole gamut of things. So I'm not saying go out and buy something new or any of that. I buy charts for mental health awareness that speak to me. Please, 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 please stitch on whatever you have that brings you joy. You know, if stitching on full coverage brings you joy, then stitch away. If, you know, whatever brings you joy, you stitch on it. You do not have to buy a new chart. You do not have to do any of that. I'm not asking people to spend money or anything. Just do what makes you happy. So in that vein, I'm going to move on from that. I don't know why I got on that little tangent, but in that vein, I am going to be starting 3 new projects. One is, I know I'll be starting it on the 14th, and it is this year's 2025 Collector's Heart by Heart and Hand. And I chose this chart because it says love who you are. And one of my issues has always been self-love and self-care. And so this really did speak to me. I'm not for sure It is all in reds, and so I was trying to think of a way to do it where it would be in purples. But maybe I need to not try to switch it up. Maybe I need to stitch it in the reds, and I'm trying to pull it out the... It did come with the fabric and the beads, and a couple of buttons. The called for floss is Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. And I'm not sure that I have the brain power to try to translate or try to turn this into a purple chart. And maybe it will just be better for me to leave it as it is, because I love this chart. Ever since she showed it back in February, and I was like, I want that chart. So that is plan number 1. Plan number 2, these are my plans. If I didn't tell you, these are my plans for May. The next plan is to start Disagree. This also to me speaks to mental health. Because how other people treat you also can affect your mental health. And so you have to be willing to stand up for yourself, and not let what others think of you or describe you as be who you see yourself as. So I will be starting Disagree. And I'll actually be starting that with Miss Shelia on the 15th. So if you have it, I know that there is a sale already going on. So even if you've already started it, please pick up your Disagree on the 15th and stitch with me. I will be stitching it on a 46 count with a Mose silk purple. It'll be purple and white. And then the next project that I'll be stitching on, which I need to come up with a date for. So if anyone has this chart and is wants to start it, please let me know. I'm probably going to start it closer to the beginning of the month, so that I have some good stitching progress on it. Is Grounded in Chaos. And this is by Shaded Stitchery. And the minute that I saw it, I was like, I want that chart. It speaks to mental health. And a lot of the sayings speak to it also. So it says, I protect my peace. I listen to my intuition. I check in with myself. I give myself grace. I make mistakes. I feel all the things. I feel all the feelings. I know perfect doesn't exist. I will slow down. I am more than my thoughts. And then around it, there are, stitching around each one of the... I initially thought that I was going to do this individually, do them individually. But if I have a big enough piece of fabric here, I think I am going to put them all on one piece of fabric. So I have not determined what date that I would like to start this on yet. So I am thinking maybe I always like to start things on Saturdays or Sundays because it gives me like a whole day to, so maybe on the 3rd, I'll start that because we'll have our, Put a Bird on his Sal Zoom on Friday the 2nd, and then I can start it on the 3rd. Seems like I got something going on the 3rd, though. Might be the 4th. I could do it for Mother's Day. So, I'll let you know next week for sure. Next week is the 4th. So I'll probably start it on Mother's Day. Grounded in Chaos will be started on Mother's Day. So I'm writing that down right now. Okay. So now those, also I have Whip-go numbers. The Whip-go numbers were drawn, and the letter, or the number 5 for me is the letter B. So I'll be probably working on Black Butterfly Sampler, because I would love to get that finished. That would be my 4th finish for Year of Whips, which would be amazing. To have 4 finishes in May, by May. I could just like kind of not worry about the rest. Not that I wouldn't worry about it. I kind of stress out over goals. And then number 19 is the letter X. And so what I'm going to do is with the letter X, I'm going to stitch on whatever I want to stitch on. And I'll let you know. It will probably be a Carolyn Manning design. April has been rough, and I am thinking that May will be a little rough too. The year of first. So I am going to be looking at doing some good comfort stitching. And Amethyst has been out there and hasn't been worked on in a while. I also have my colors of the season that I want to get done for the month of May. I want to get it done before June so that I can start the summer one in June. So, you know, those are how things are going to pan out right now. Okay. So now I have a couple of investments. I got a little purple bag, and I love this bag, Sammy, so I love it. I was surfing and came across a couple of things on Tiny Hummingbird Stitchery, which is also an online shop by Sammy J. And it is the Quirky Quaker Christmas Tree. And that is really cute. And also, you know, now I'm all into the Mill Hill, right? So I picked up this ugly Christmas sweater, and I love ugly Christmas sweaters. I actually won 2 contests. I made my own sweaters, and won 2 ugly Christmas sweater contests. So I love ugly sweaters, and I have seen in cross-stitch magazines where they have made ugly, you know, they've designed ugly sweaters. And so I'm going to start doing that. I don't know when, but I'm going to start doing like an ugly sweater, you know, thing, because I love ugly Christmas sweaters. They would be cute designs on you know, cute little ornaments on trees. So, and then I also just received my, it's called Dahlia Seed Pack cross-stitch pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. I'm in this club. And so I received this in the mail. And those are all of my investments. I really appreciate you all sticking in and hanging in with me. It's been a year already, and you know, again, it's only May, but I appreciate you all so very, very much, and your comments are wonderful. If you are new to my channel, I ask that you would subscribe and like, give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.